Moved here from Jamaica, so I didn't know anyone else besides a black person, or a light-skinned person. I moved here when I was 9, so I came from a town, like a country that didn't really have a lot of white people, so I didn't really notice social injustice or anything that's out of the norm with race. Going through my childhood, I never really noticed race or uh, put too much emphasis on it until I got to high school. One of my coaches told me before a game to be prepared because the other team will say racist things to you and you cannot react. They want you to react. That's what they want you to do is get angry. So you have to stay calm as much as possible and just get through the game. Because at the end of the day, the scoreboard talks for itself. At first, I was shocked because I didn't know why this was happening. As a coach, you don't want to go up to your players and tell them hey, watch out for something like this, because that's something that you don't want us as football players, any athlete doesn't want in their game. That's probably the first incident where I noticed race and got a face-to-face encounter with it. You can't just sit here and say something in my face and call me derogatory terms and have me stay still and be calm about everything. So I know at the moment I was mad about it, but looking back, I was happy to have those experiences because I know what to do in those instances where I do get upset at somebody calling me names or stuff like that. And that's why I go back to sports. It's it teaches you so much because you have those experiences where you're uncomfortable. Coach Amante has been a huge help even through high school. I went to high school in Monte, and throughout that experience, he's told me hey, you got to be tougher than everybody else. Your image has to be, I wouldn't say perfect, but you have to be better than everybody else because everybody else is looking at you to fail. They're just looking at you different, so you have to keep your head up and grind. And having Amante on staff last year was really big for, I think, everybody, not just our African American students, but anybody that wants to talk, because Amante keeps his door open and he keeps it 100 with you at all times. Having somebody that looks like me to go to and talk to about things, because he understands, he's been in my shoes, and so he knows exactly what to do and what to say. He gives me courage to do things that he didn't do or that I wouldn't necessarily do myself. With anything that happens, we always talk about it and speak out on it. Freshman year when I came in, Colin Kaepernick was still taking a knee, and we had discussions about that year and what we're gonna do about it as a team. And that's the same thing that continues to happen throughout my 4 years. When everything arises or happens, we talk about it as a team and say what we're gonna do about it. What's our action plan here, and how can we get this done? Get the voices that matter heard. I definitely would say the Carter Medal has definitely had an impact on me as an athlete and as a person. When I first came in, I thought I didn't really know much what to thought of the Carter Medal because I've never been in it. But being in it, you get to see who's like you a lot, because a lot of people have similar stories but don't share them. And going through those meetings, you get to hear who's going through problems, who's having success in their life, what struggles their parents are going through, and knowing that about somebody else truly helps you play better. Just knowing them as a person helps you connect with them better. That allows you to fight for them harder, type of thing. I think the biggest thing is just talking. From what I've heard from other teams and other programs in North Central, they don't really talk about racial injustice as much as we do. We don't have 1 or 2 meetings and get over it. We continue the conversation. It's not just a one and done situation. I think that's the biggest thing that sets us apart. We have those difficult conversations. We keep talking about them, so our players know that this is actually an issue that bothers our African American players or Latino players or anybody that looks different. Cut!